Good evening and a very warm welcome to you wherever you may be. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us in season 3 of what is now becoming a staple part of the local football landscape, if you like, the Geelong Region Soccer Show. My name is Tonchi Prusak. I'm one half of your co-hosts for tonight, and the other co-host, bringing him right on now as well, is the man, the legend, Steve Curtin. Steve, welcome back. And you look like you've grown a little bit over the off-season. How are you? How's things?
I don't know about that, Tonch. Yeah, very good. Thanks, mate. Just enjoyed a good little weekend and a little bit of a busy one, catching up on a lot of football, as you do. And Monday, another manic Monday, back into it, and here we are doing the show once again. New season is here, so much to be excited about. But yeah, how about you, mate? How you doing? How was your weekend?
It was a pretty relaxing weekend, I must admit. We went away a little bit over the start of the weekend, and then came back. And I've been in heaven ever since Saturday evening. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch any of the local football. We came back a little bit too late for that. But watching the NPL, watching yourself and Craig Filer, my co-host from Football Out West, delivering I'll tell you what, buddy. I will, for those of you that aren't aware, Steve and Craig Filer do the NPL commentating for NPL Victoria, and Saturday night's game at Paisley Park between Altona Magic and Heidelberg United. Geez, that was like a real waterfest, wasn't it? But your call was more, let me just say this, mate, more entertaining, more informative, everything more than even the A-League calls on the Foxtel. So kudos to you and Craig. Absolutely great Saturday evening entertainment.
Oh, thanks, mate. It was a return to wet weather football that we hadn't seen for so long, and that also affected a lot of games across the region here that were played on Saturday in the FFA Cup. And it was a contrast between the amazing weather across town on Friday night, the deluge of rain on Saturday, and then the quite nice weather yesterday, and just out for a run earlier. It was beautiful weather out there in Geelong tonight. But yeah, it was a bit of a classic game. Good to be back calling with Craig Filer again. And if you didn't catch that game as well, not that it evolves or relates to the Geelong region, but Heidelberg United were 2 goals down, a man down, coach sent off, and then come back to get a point in injury time with a 2-2 draw on a saturated pitch at Altona in Paisley Park. It was pretty crazy how it all went down. And they also had 3 key players, including their captain, ruled out injured before the game too. So it was a very unlikely tale that they would come back, and we really enjoyed the match.
Well, it's great to have grassroots football back for 2021 after what we've had last year. Everyone knows, we're not going to go on about COVID, but everyone knows how it affected the local game and the local clubs. But we've got so much to get through. Great to see the football action is alive and well. FFA Cup action on the weekend, Nike FC Cup as well, Steve. We'll be going through a fair bit of that. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away at all throughout the course of the evening. We've got a special State League and NPL preview, season preview coming your way very, very shortly. We've also got 2 very, very esteemed guests from our club in focus tonight, Steve, which is your old club, Surf Coast FC. And who have we got that is going to be coming on the show a little later on in the second half?
Yeah, mate, very excited to announce that we've got the incoming president, and that's Mariella Pocklington. And she will be joined also with the women's coach of Surf Coast FC, Mr. Mark Reth. So we look forward to Mariella and Mark joining us a little later.
I'm told it's Mark Wyeth. So, yeah, very...
sorry, Mark, apologies. I could get that out of the way early.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to
Mark Wyeth, the women's coach, he will be joining us as well as Mariella. So it's always good to feature one of the region's favourite clubs down there on the Surf Coast down in Torquay, Surf Coast FC.
Before we go further afield, let's shout out to Santino Mamone. He's been waiting for this 6 months ago. Brenton Ray, the Rain Man, always keeping us informed. So, gentlemen, already very, very heavily active on our comment section, the Facebook feed. And also shout out to anyone who is listening or tuning in via the Football Out West News Facebook page. as well as obviously the Geelong Region Soccer Show Facebook page. Now, Steve, I'll let you step away from the mic for a little bit because you're going to get yourself ready for the news desk. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. It's episode 53 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Don't go away.
All right. Well, welcome back. It's Monday, the 15th of March, 2021, a new year of football. And first to the weekend's Nike FC Cup results that saw 3 of the region's clubs in action in the state's Premier Women's Cup competition. And North Geelong Warriors hit top gear, putting 11 unanswered goals past Hampton East Brighton FC. The game saw a hat-trick for Miller Parkin, braces for Grace Spearhar and Marcella Fierro, and singles to Jadranka Urseg, Julia Arkmacic, Lara Herich, and Shelby Aiken. So big win there for North Geelong. And then on Sunday, Deakin Ducks, they ran out convincing 3-1 winners over the visiting South Springvale FC at Warren Ponds. And in the other fixture played, this was at Stead Park, actually, not the usual home of Geelong Rangers, but Rangers proved too good for Gisborne with doubles for Ali Van Dalen, Chloe Mitchell, and Ruby McCloskey, meaning the match finished 6-0 in favour of the Rangers, Tonchi.
Yeah, it was great to see the 3 community clubs all getting through. Well, community clubs, I say 3 community clubs, Geelong Rangers and Deakin, and North Geelong making a welcome return to the State League competition this year. They did exceptionally well, handing out a 11-0 thumping to the newly merged Brighton or Hampton East Brighton club there. Some amazing names there as well. So obviously they've attracted and recruited exceptionally well. Rangers, they are the powerhouse of the local competition. Great to see a 6-0 win there over Gisborne. And likewise, Deakin. Now, the draw was held earlier today, Steve, and those 3 clubs will now be joining State League 2's Lara United in round 1 proper of the competition.
Yeah, that's right. Just a little bit out of order of my operation of my notes here, but I'll just try and find that for you. Yeah, the draw for the next round of the Nike FC Cup was conducted at Football Victoria headquarters earlier today with local clubs. Drawn as follows: Lara, they're away to Brimbank Stallions. Geelong Rangers are away to Ashburton. Deakin, they can enjoy another home game and they will host Mornington, while North Geelong will travel to Broadmeadows to face Hume City. Those matches are scheduled to take place this weekend.
Yeah, so Hume City is a State League 2 outfit. Ashburton United, also a State 2 outfit. Deakin coming up against Mornington, who are State 3. And little is known about the Brimbank Stallions. Lara United taking on the Stallions, but I believe that club is a newly formed women's team. Obviously, the Brimbank Stallions men's one of the powerhouses in the State 1 competition. But if Brenton Ray or anyone else can give us a little bit more information about the Stallions, I'm pretty sure they are a newly formed women's team. So that would be quite interesting. But there you go. There's 19 games. 19 winners then will progress to the next round, which will see the Victorian Metropolitan League teams, which includes Geelong's own Galaxy United, and also I do believe the NPLW teams as well, Steve. So that should be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to that draw. I think next week.
Yeah, I believe that'll be Monday next week. So we look forward to seeing how Galaxy go in that competition when they join, and hopefully there'll be some other Geelong region clubs still going in the next round after this coming weekend. It would be great to see. And of course, if Brenton Ray doesn't know what division that Brimbank Stallions women's team plays in, no one does.
Absolutely, mate.Moving along now to the FFA Cup. Lots of action in the FFA Cup over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So round 4 results from the region's clubs over the weekend. For Corio Soccer Club, an Alex Stojanowski goal wasn't enough to overcome Ballarat City at Moorshead Park, with the hosts coming from behind to win 2-1. Meanwhile, we've got some footage coming through here from Elko Park. We'll just pause and let that play out.
thanks to Craig Filer as well. He provided this the footage, and I think there's footage of the dressing rooms afterwards. But this is North Geelong in action against Kingston City at Alco Park.
Yeah, so in this one here, Alco Park was the scene of a dramatic come-from-behind result with North Geelong Warriors coming from 2 goals down and a man down in the final 25 minutes to defeat fellow NPL2 outfit Kingston City, a double from Luka Jurkovic along with a Ryan Opperman effort, seeing the Warriors through to the next round, and this is how happy they were afterwards.
It was a great come-from-behind win. The Warriors taking on Kingston City, who are also in State 2 alongside the Warriors. So it was in many ways it was good to see. It was a good hit out as well, if you like, and I guess that's important at this stage because cup football sometimes is not taken seriously by some of these coaches. So to be able to get past that first hurdle, and I know North Geelong have kind of been a bit notorious in the past playing second string players and getting some of the youngsters a go, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's good to see that this was a game that they really, really took seriously. And Luka Jurkovic, he's a player that really impresses me, and we'll talk a little bit more about it when we do the season previews ahead. But good to see that comeback. Geelong had a forfeit, so they're through to the next round. Sunbury United forfeited, so Geelong progressed through without a ball being kicked. And the other results you were saying, Steve?
Yeah, so I think we just mentioned Cryer going down 2-1 against Ballarat City. And the other one was a game that Santino Mamone was at himself there in person. It was the Deakin Ducks, and they were bundled out of the competition with a 4-1 home defeat at the hands of the highly rated these days, Mill Park, ending an impressive cup run by the students, Harry Woolley being the player on target for the Ducks from the penalty spot in that particular tie. But yeah, certainly an impressive cup run by the Ducks, and they'll get some confidence going into their State 5 season from that performance that they've had. They've had a few victories to get this far.
Yeah, I think speaking of clubs that have really struggled to get past that first post or that first hurdle, the Ducks were indeed one of those teams, but they had a dream run in probably not as flamboyant fashion as Bowen Soccer Club did last year. I think they notched 5 games on the trot before COVID suddenly slashed their season's hopes. But nonetheless, North Geelong and Geelong now progress through to the next round of the FFA Cup. And that draw will be done next Monday, the 22nd of March. Moving along, Nate, lots of junior games played on the weekend as well.
There was. So we didn't cover, one more game in that particular round of fixtures at Urin Reserve in Thomastown. Goals to McKenna and Clayson of Geelong Rangers proved not quite enough for Geelong Rangers to overcome Laylaw United, who progressed courtesy of a late go-ahead goal in that tie. So Rangers put in a pretty good effort there away from home against a difficult opponent, but didn't quite get through. But they'll gain some confidence from that nonetheless. Now, as you said, moving on to those junior results, the girls' junior NPL round 3 matches on the weekend. Some positive results for the Geelong Galaxy girls with a 6-1 win to the under-17s, a 3-2 win to the under-15s, and the under-13s, they had a 2-2 result, and you can see that there on your screen at the moment.
Yeah, now a special, whilst we're on the subject of Galaxy United will be our featured club in next week's show. So we'll be certainly covering the girls and how they're doing this year. And also, obviously, Galaxy dropping from NPLW into the newly formed Victoria Metropolitan League, which will kick off next month. And we'll be able to speak with some of the folk there at Galaxy United about what should be a very interesting season ahead. But a great result there by the juniors. So for those of you that are not in the know, the juniors, so that is the under-17s, the under-15s, and the under-13s remain within the junior NPL girls structure. It's just the seniors that have now dropped down to the Victorian Metropolitan League, the newly formed VML or VPL, however you want to call it. Steve, moving along, we're looking at the NPL Junior Boys now.
Yeah, so the NPL Junior Boys, good news for for Geelong Soccer Club, first of all. Geelong Soccer Club Juniors saw wins for the under 14s, 15s, 16s, and this under 17s had a 2-2 draw. Those matches played up at Summer Street at the home of the Melbourne Knights.
Now, have a look at that against the Melbourne Knights, a club that is so famous. And up until this weekend just gone by, they were on top of the NPL ladder. But their juniors either are really, really struggling or Geelong did exceptionally well. We'd like to think that it's the second of the two, but well done to the Red and Blacks. They did very, very well. 3 wins and a draw. As their social media post says, not a bad day at the office for our NPL squads. Well done to Geelong. North Geelong, they travelled up the highway to Bendigo.
That's right, mate. They were up at the Epsom Huntley Recreation Reserve. So that's the new home of the club where I played as a youngster back when I was about 8 years old, kicking the ball around there in the frosty Saturday mornings. And they had convincing wins for the under 14s, under 15s, and under 17s. Well, they got home in a tighter one that was a 2-1 win, while the under 16s, they had a bye.
Yeah, so, well, 3 out of 3 games. Can't ask for better than that. But look at that 10-0.
Good road trip there.
Yeah, that 10-0 win for the under 14s doing extraordinarily well. I think it's the 14s and the 15s, if I'm not mistaken, are, I think, in second position on the ladder. The 16s could be third, and the 17s are about 7th or 8th or something like that. So the Warriors doing very well. Now, it's the top 3 that go into like the Super League. Then teams from 4 to 6 go into Division 2. Teams from 7 to 9 go into Division 3. And then 10, 11, and 12 place teams go into Division 4 after everyone has played each other once. So that's at the conclusion of, I think it's 11 rounds. So North Geelong are certainly well placed in that regard, Steve.
Yeah, that's correct, mate. And well done, and to everyone involved in the junior NPL setup. Obviously, we know it's a big time and effort commitment for players, for parents, for coaches. They've been going for a few weeks now, and well done to all involved. Looks like things are going well for the Geelong-based teams in both the boys and the girls competitions. That's great news to see. Okay, moving along, our next item, just to mention, just looking back at last month's Geelong Community Cup, which was won by host Corio Soccer Club after the final against North Geelong finished a 1-1. It was the Eagles triumphing 5-4 on penalties, and congratulations to Corio on kicking off the year by picking up the silverware, and no doubt Santino Mamone in the comments, very, very happy with that result.
Absolutely. And certainly last but not least, we've got some news about some coaching courses coming up in the next few weeks here in Geelong.
That's correct, mate. Upcoming skill training certificate courses in Geelong and Torquay. Football Victoria presents the skill training certificate course, which will now run as a logbook system course over 1 day with remaining hours to be completed. Coaching at your own club. Registration is open, so get over to the websites for your further football education, and those dates: Sunday the 21st of March, that's the skills certificate, and that runs from 8:30 to 4:30 at Banyawari Reserve there in Torquay, the home of Surf Coast FC. And also we've got another session on Saturday the 27th of March, and that is at the Leisure Time Sports Precinct from 8:30 to 4:30. The course presenter will provide further details regarding the logbook at the course. So just get online there. We've got some links available. They're actually up on our news page at the moment. You can follow those links and make sure we fill all those places, Tonchi.
All the details are there on www.ffvgeelong.com.au. Normally they were 2-day courses, but they've been now condensed into a 1-day course. And then you go back to your respective club and complete basically the practical element of it. So I think that's a great, wise move, Steve. I think that's a really good move, in fact, because I think a lot of people have just find it sometimes very hard to be able to, I guess, attend both days. This way, at least they've got an opportunity now to, they don't have to wipe out their whole weekend, especially now with the season having started, and look, quite a fair bit of activities happening as we approach Easter as well. So It's a very hectic time of year this time of year. So it's good to see that the Football Victoria are running these competitions, badly needed. But it's also an opportunity here for the local community to get accredited. Those who are new to coaching, particularly in that mini ruse sort of under 7s, under 9s, under 11s, and even under 12 and under 13 of the juniors, the skill certificate is absolutely perfect for that demographic, that age group. So I do implore all people out there listening to this broadcast, and people who are involved with their clubs, pass it on, pass this information on, because you'd be surprised how many coaches, and particularly novice coaches, and God bless them, we've got so many of them at clubs these days. They are not aware of these things, and these courses, speaking from personal experience, they are a wealth of information, absolute wealth of information, and you get so many resources that you can utilize with your own teams and your kids, etc. So once again, really implore everyone to jump on those courses, because if the demand's not there, Steve, at the end of the day, Football Victoria will turn around and say, well, there's no need to have these courses, and then everyone will be crying out for these courses.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I couldn't add anything to make that any better. You've nailed it there. And in a bit of other news, the Masters Summer League continues. They played their round 8 fixtures over the weekend at Warren Ponds, and they will, I guess we'll hear more about them as the season goes on the show.
Absolutely. Okay. Don't go away, folks. Before too long now, we're going to have the big preview, the State League and the NPL preview, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
It all starts with heart. Put it into everything you do and extraordinary things happen. 500,000 people are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. That's 500,000 hearts beating as one. Join them. From cardio to strength, free weights to functional, all Anytime Fitness clubs contain the most up-to-date equipment that suits all fitness levels and any workout goal. With your Anytime Fitness membership, you have access to our clubs all over the world. Give your fitness fix 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever you are. Anywhere, anytime. Here's a special offer. Mention this radio show and receive 50% off your joining fee and the rest of the month for free. So what are you waiting for? For more information or to join the Anytime movement, pop into the Geelong City, Highton, Leopold or Drysdale gyms, or text the letters FNR and your name to 0477 225 518 and our membership consultant will get back to you. Anytime Fitness, looking after your health and fitness, anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is episode 53, and a big shout out to our sponsor for tonight, Anytime Fitness. Geelong, Highton, Leopold, Drysdale, Grovedale, and now in Torquay as well. Big shout out to Rob Panetta, who also happens to be the coach of our big our club in focus tonight. And that's Surf Coast FC. So thank you to Rob and everyone out at Anytime Fitness. Mate, it's time now for the big State League preview. Or let's start off at the NPL. Let's go right to the top. We've been waiting for this for well, a whole year plus all of last preseason. So what does that mean? 18 months we've been waiting for it?
18 months since they wrapped up their 2019 seasons. They were about to kick off.
Yeah.
Was it around the 20th of March last year? And obviously that wasn't able to happen. So it was, very unfortunate timings. At least the NPL 1 teams in Melbourne in the men's got to have at least 5 games before the other guys were set to start. So, yes.
Now, let's go straight to the NPL competition or the fixtures this week. So there we have it up on screen. Steve, let's go to North Geelong. They are taking on Northcote City at home. 5 p.m. on Saturday evening, Saturday twilight match, if you like. Let's look at the Warriors. They got to the final of the Geelong Community Cup. They lost to Santino Mamoni's Corail Soccer Club, but it was probably the kick up the pants that they so needed ahead of the new season.
Yeah, that's right. And I think their cup performance on the weekend will give them confidence. And I think you were alluding to before that sometimes people are not taking the cup competition seriously. Well, it is a real source of momentum getting those morale-boosting wins, such as what North Geelong Warriors enjoyed on Saturday. So coming up against Northcote City, who's usually a good blend of experience and local youth products, always a difficult opposition. But I think on the home turf there, Elko Park, 5 p.m. game, there's going to be a big crowd, a big vocal crowd in there, I'd imagine, Tonchi. They should be able to get over the line there.
Yeah, look, I'm tipping that if the weather's really nice, and I'm sure it will be, you can expect a very, very good crowd. And look, these early season fixtures, particularly when North Geelong have been playing at 5 p.m, you often find fans from other teams as well come on down as well. And have a bit of a sticky beak, if you like. And as you can see there in NPL 3 as well, Geelong taking on North Sunshine Eagles at Stead Park at 5:30 p.m. as well. So a lot to be look forward to there. Look, the NPL 2 and the NPL 3, both those divisions will be cutthroat. Now, the NPL 2, Steve, I think that's going to be tough because it was the top 6 from the Western Division and the top 6 from the Eastern Division. They've merged now to effectively create a Super League of the Second Division. So, look, every game is going to be a tough game. But look, having seen North Geelong a couple of times in the pre-season, I've been super impressed by the youngest of the Jurkovic brothers, Luka. He's an out and out number 9 in the mold of the great Mark Viduka. He's very strong. He's only, I think, 17 or 18 years of age, but his ability to hold the ball up, but also being in at the right time at the right place. He's been getting on the score sheet left, right, and centre all throughout the pre-season, and his 2 goals against Kingston City on the weekend, a testament to that. So. Watch out for him. I don't think he'll be at Elko Park for too much longer because, the kid's got great talent. I believe he even trialled overseas or trained overseas with a famous Croatian first division club, Hajduk Split, a couple of years ago. So expect him to be have a great season. But apart from that, Steve, it's a very, very settled squad from 2 years ago, and I think Coach Željko Gagula will be expecting his team to do very, very well this year.
Yeah, that's right. I think one of the question marks was that loss of Darius Madison, the American goal machine that they had out there at Elko Park, and how that will cover him. So, yeah, all things are pointing to Luka Jurkovic having a breakout season, and hopefully they can keep him on their books for a little while yet, and he can score some goals and keep them going towards the top half of that league. And as you say, it will be very cutthroat with the no longer having that sort of East versus West conference system anymore. It is the cream of the crop of the second tier all playing, and then obviously that new NPL 3 competition is a bit of an unknown quantity as to how that will play out, and that's how that's where we're going to see Geelong Soccer Club competing this season. And obviously that means that there's no what do we call it, the G Classico, no big local NPL derby between those two teams at senior level, unfortunately, this year. So
unless they get drawn in the FFA Cup, mate, unless
there you go.
That would be good. But Geelong, look, they've been
be the frozen ball in the draw when they draw them out.
Yeah, Geelong have been, delivered a big blow on the eve of the season, and that is the fact that Daniel Kuczynski, who was their star striker, who'd come back to the club, has now signed with Carayo's rival in State 1, Caroline Springs, George Cross. Now, he will be a big, big loss for Geelong, even though I guess he didn't play last year. But nonetheless, I think Geelong have got that depth. It will be interesting. It's a bit of an unknown factor how the team at Stead Park will go. But look, they've got some good players there, some great young players as well. Jamie Monteith, is their head coach, and he's had extensive experience with the Melbourne Victory Academy, the youth academy. So if there is a coach that is going to get the most out of his younger players, it certainly will be Jamie Monteith. They've got a cutthroat division, haven't they? Because the bottom two in NPL 3 then get relegated to State 1. So Geelong will certainly not want to be one of those two teams. Look, I'm tipping a mid-table finish for Geelong, and possibly if they can pick up some, really good players, even in the once the transfer window opens up mid-year and that what you're not, they could go even a little bit higher. I'm tipping North Geelong to do quite well. I think North Geelong will be in the top 3, top 4, and it really just depends on how the other teams are progressing, or how they've recruited in this 18-month off season. That I think then will also determine how these other teams go.
Yeah, agree, mate. And definitely let us know if you're tuning in. Let us know how you think the teams will fare in the NPL 2 and NPL 3 competitions this year. Look, I think Geelong, they should do pretty well in that NPL 3 competition. It should be a little bit easier for them than what they faced in the 2019 season. It's going to be pretty hard for North Geelong in that condensed, the top tier of the top of the best of the rest league, I guess it could be called now. It's going to be pretty tough. And I think, like if they can get a mid-table or higher position, that will be fantastic for North Geelong in that difficult league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Brenton Ray, look at him. He's a legend. He's in the comments section putting up all the various fixtures going from Northwest State League Division 1 all the way down to State 2, State 3, State 4 and State 5. So thank you very much for Brenton for keeping us informed. He is the Ray Man after all. Let's move our attention now to the State League competition, Steve. Some of the big fixtures there that are happening there. Let's look at State League 1 first up.
All right, so obviously that features Corio. They were promoted at the end of that 2019 season, and we're looking forward to seeing how they would go in 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen. We were getting ready for their big round 1 fixture, and it never took place. So they've had a change of coach, and they're going to line up against Altona City at Kim Reserve, and that is a Saturday evening game this weekend at 6 p.m. Tonchi. So it'll be interesting to see how they go on their debut in State League 1. It's going to be a tough league, that one as well, I think, for Corio. So probably the objective is I don't know 100%, but I'm imagining the objective is to consolidation and to try and keep their spot in that league and then keep building on from there.
Well, speaking to Corio President Mario Gregorio about 2 weeks ago or so, look, he openly said it's all about survival this year. You're looking at clubs like Brimbank Stallions, Essendon Royals, Caroline Springs, George Cross, Sydenham Park. Altona City have reportedly spent quite a fair bit in the off-season as well. So these are all clubs that are going to be quite tough. I dare say Caroline Springs, George Cross, with just the sheer number of quality players at their disposal that they've got, the money that they've got at their disposal as well, I would say they would have to be the odds-on favourite to take that competition. But look, Corio, I'm tipping Corio. Look, I hate to say this, but they will be at the wrong end of the table. I hope they don't get relegated. I really sincerely hope that they do survive. At best, I think they'll finish in 3rd or 4th last position. But what about yourself, Steve? What's your tip for Corio this year?
Look, I think they'll stay in it. I think they'll manage to avoid relegation. They'll keep going, and hopefully they can build on that in 2022, Tonch. I think they'll be okay. Yeah.
State League 2, Moreland United host our Geelong Rangers at Moomba Park at 3 p.m. on Saturday. The Rangers have got a new coaching structure there with Steve Tillinger, the head coach, Brad Ower, the assistant coach, and Jono Perez, the match analyst as well. Jono Perez, a big fan, a big supporter of this show. He became a father for the second time in the just not that long ago, just recently. So we wish the Rangers all the very, very best. The Rangers have got a new president as well this year, Lisa Brooks, who's stepped up from the secretarial position. It's great to see a lot of females involved at the helm of these clubs. And speaking of which, one of those, Mariella Pocklington, the president of Surf Coast, she is in our green room and she's itching to get involved. Come on the show. So she'll be coming on very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. Rangers, how do you think, Steve, the Dark Blues will go this year?
Look, definitely looking at a top half season for Geelong Rangers this year. I think they'd be disappointed if they aren't in the top half and contending for promotion. I don't quite know if they'll get over the line to get out of that State League 2. Obviously, again, I think I've said it for every league. It's a difficult league. But hopefully they can get off to a good start against Moreland United up there at Moomba Park at the traditional 3 o'clock time this Saturday. It'll be a warm afternoon, and any of these grounds that are up there near the ring road are always difficult places to play at, and often physical opponents. So I'm sure Rangers can match it with the most physical teams out there. Anyway, they'll go okay and get a good start to the season this Saturday.
Yeah, quick shout out to our neighbours, our regional neighbours, Hoppers Crossing, the Brenton Rays club of choice. Hoppers Crossing are taking on Westgate at Grange Reserve at 7 p.m. on Saturday night. It's the first night game at the venue for league championship points. So great to see one of the region's clubs doing so well. So we wish them all the best. But Geelong Rangers, they've got a young side. Steve Tillinger is a strict disciplinarian, and I'm sure he will get the most out of these young guys. But young players are known, Steve, to be a little bit on the inconsistent side of things. So hopefully we will see a lot of consistency. But, yeah, I'm tipping kind of a mid-table finish for the Rangers.
Yeah, for sure. And then we should move on now to State League 4, where we've got a whopping 3 clubs in that State League 4 West: Golden Plains, Surf Coast, and Bell Park.
And they're all playing at home on the weekend.
Yes, so Golden Plains heads that list there. They're playing Melbourne Uni at Bannockburn Sports Precinct. Surf Coast hosting Laverton at Banyulwarri, and Bell Park hosting Melbourne City. So, look, 3 cracking fixtures there. I can't wait to see how our local teams go. It's going to be fantastic. After they've had, last season off, there's going to be players itching to get out there and get the first 3 points since 2019. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, not much
in State 4.
Not much has been said about Golden Plains, but reports suggest that from Bannockburn Sports Precinct that it's a very new-look club, a new-look team. A lot of players that have been recruited in the off-season. Bell Park as well they've got a new coach there in Tony Hayes from formerly from the Geelong Soccer Club. He stepped up to take the helm there at the Bell Park Sports Club. He's no doubt he's a tough old style coach who demands a lot from his players, and it will be interesting to see how the younger players in particular at Bell Park adapt to that style. Wishing them all the best. We'll talk about Surf Coast that a little bit later on, but they take on Laverton, and it's going to be a really interesting division. In years gone by, Golden Plains have always struggled. Surf Coast have been fighting for top spot, and Bell Park have been thereabouts until the very end. But it's one of the toughest divisions to get out of, with only one team automatically gaining promotion. And in the years gone by, their second team having to fight via a promotion playoff. But Steve, are you willing to stick your neck out and say where those teams, the Geelong teams that is, where they're going to finish come season's end?
Look, I'm going to have to say I think Surf Coast are going to be one of the ones in that league who are going to be pushing for promotion. Bell Park will be somewhere in between, in the middle, and Golden Plains they'll be hanging in there, and they could get sucked into a relegation battle, but they hopefully they can just avoid it and avoid the drop and stay in State 4 for another year.
Mate, we're definitely on the same wavelength because that is exactly what I would have said. But now the one from a Geelong perspective, the division that is really, really going to be interesting in the state leagues is State League 5, the Western Conference, the Western Division, because for the first time, we've now got 4 Geelong region clubs in this competition, and I think it's 11 teams in total, or 12 if I'm not mistaken. So 1/3 of the entire competition is locally based. Surfside Waves, the Ocean Grove-based club, they will be entering the competition this year in State 5, and they've got a tough game, their first game away the perennial promotion candidates, Keilor Wolves at Green Gully Reserve at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Surfside Waves, how will they go, mate?
Look, I don't know how they're going to go over the course of the season, but I've just got a feeling they're going to go out to Green Gully Reserve and spring a surprise and beat Keilor Wolves, because I've been impressed by the form of Surfside in the FFA Cup games that they've played so far, and I think they've got a bit of confidence going into the early part of the season, and who knows, if they can keep that going, they could continue to surprise a lot of teams. What about you, mate? What do you think?
Look, a bit of an unknown factor, but they have been the powerhouses of the Geelong Region Division 1 competition for the last few years. To be honest, I think they've outgrown the local competition. But as part of the, I guess, the licensing agreement of entering teams in the state league competition, they are also compelled to enter teams in the local league. So they'll have at least 3, if not 4 men's teams, senior men's teams. And we've seen with Barwon, we've seen with Deakin, we've seen with some of these teams in the past, Golden Plains as well, when they do enter the state league competitions, it kind of, it just really engages the whole club. It takes the club to a whole new level. And Mike Sutton, the president there at Surfside Waves, we had him on, I think it was the first episode of the Football Out West show. And he leads a very ambitious team, and look, I wouldn't put it past them to be in the top half of the top half of the ladder come the season's end. But I'm predicting that they will certainly be trailing one team, and that is the next team that we're going to be talking about, and that's Barwon. Barwon are away to West Point at Tom Roberts Reserve, and look, Barwon Soccer Club. They were unlucky 2 years ago not to get promotion. They were unlucky that last year there wasn't a competition, because they were absolute favourites to win promotion. And I think, mate, the way Dale Harris has recruited in the off-season, some of the players that he has picked up and has managed to pick up, I tell you what, Barwon are going to be a very, very good side this year.
Yeah, I think Dale's got a knack for recruiting players. He must just have just exceptional people skills, or be a good mate, or he bribes them. I'm not too sure about Dale, how he does it, but he seems to recruit players who have abilities that seem to almost exceed the State League 5 window. But I think that will be enough to get them out of the league. I think they'll get promoted, and they might do it with a couple of games to spare. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's also new look leadership off the field at Barwon with Colin Drain, longtime administrator at the club, replacing the long-term president Dave Ray in the just recently. Actually, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So lots of exciting things happening at Barwon Soccer Club, and indeed they've got some new change rooms as well at Lara Recreation Reserve. At 3 p.m. And this is another ground that is starting to look differently, because they've got some new fencing that has been erected. They're also expecting new floodlights for the main pitch. But Lara United, they take on Maribyrnong Greens, and with John Karunas there, a wily old dog at the helm as the coach there. You can expect Lara to surprise quite a few teams this year. I'm tipping them to be a little bit of a dark horse and to do exceptionally well this year, certainly a lot better than in previous seasons. Steve?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like about the way Lara are shaping up for this season, and a top half finish is certainly not beyond them, and I think they will have a very good start to the season with a win over Maribyrnong Greens at Lara this Saturday. I think they'll do very well.
And if the FFA Cup is any indication, or the form in the FFA Cup, the Deakin Ducks are surely going to have a great year in State League 5. They host Melton Phoenix at the Deakin Sports Precinct at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday. Mate, if it's not Barwon that's going to get promoted in State 5, then it's going to be the Deakin Ducks. That's my tip. Steve?
Oh, good call, mate. I saw a bit of footage on Football Chaos of their one of their away games in the FFA Cup a couple of weeks ago. And look, just quietly, they're looking pretty good as well, the Ducks. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're in those top 3 or 4 positions come seasons. And obviously, they do always face a few challenges. They often can lose players at critical points of the season in the middle there. Like, that could cost them. But if they can keep that squad together that's been doing so well in the Cup, there's no reason why they can't get promoted from this league this season.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Don't go away. That brings us to the end, I suppose, of the men's state league and NPL season previews. Next month, when the state league women's and the Victorian Metropolitan League women's competition kicks off, we will also do the same thing with the girls as well. But let's not go away. Stay right where you are, because on the other side of this commercial break, we're going to have the president of the Surf Coast Football Club joining us, Mariella Pocklington.
It all starts with heart. Put it into everything you do and extraordinary things happen. 500,000 people are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. That's 500,000 hearts beating as one. Join them. From cardio to strength, free weights to functional, all Anytime Fitness clubs contain the most up-to-date equipment that suits all fitness levels and any workout goal. With your Anytime Fitness membership, you have access to our clubs all over the world. Give your fitness fix 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever you are. Anywhere, anytime. Here's a special offer. Mention this radio show and receive 50% off your joining fee and the rest of the month for free. So what are you waiting for? For more information or to join the Anytime movement, pop into the Geelong City, Highton, Leopold or Drysdale gyms, or text the letters FNR and your name to 0477 225 518 and our membership consultant will get back to you. Anytime Fitness, looking after your health and fitness, anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It's episode 53, Steve. And I tell you what, now our next guest, it's time for our club focus, but our next guest, she has been, she's been a player, she's been a very respected coach, and now she's also, and she's been an administrator for a long, long time as well, but she's now also the president of certainly one of the biggest clubs, if not the biggest club registration-wise in the Geelong region. We're talking about the president of the Surf Coast Football Club, Mariella Pocklington, joining us on the show. A very, very warm welcome, Mariella. How are you? And thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. It's been a whirlwind 3 weeks, I think, for me, being president of the club, considering I started as the club secretary at the start of this season.
Yep.
So, yes, appreciate you having me on.
Well, now I may stand corrected, but are you not the first female president at Surf Coast Football Club?
I've been told yes.
There you go. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, that's a big honour, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Mariella, you've been involved with the club for many, many years. As we said, as a player, as a coach as well, and now the president. First of all, before we talk about yourself, let's also pay a little bit of homage, I guess, to the previous president, Steve Christou, who was still involved with the club, but he did have a little bit of an unfortunate industrial accident last year, and that's one of the reasons why he stepped down. But I believe he's still, you can't keep a good man down. He still lurks around the club, just making sure that you're doing a good job. Is that right?
Yeah, he's still around.
Good to see.
He didn't really want to step down, but obviously he's got a long road ahead of him for recovery, and he's doing well. But I think to have the presidency on his plate as well, it would have been too much for the year, especially coming back after last year. There's a lot of work to be done, so he opted to step back. But yeah, he's still around, and I'm still speaking to him on a regular basis as well, because he still wants to be part of the setup. He loves the club.
Very good. And Steve here, Mariella, thanks for joining us as well. And tell us a little bit about Saturday's season launch that took place down at the club. How did everything play out there?
Yeah, it was good. The rain held off. We were a little bit worried that it was going to start raining earlier in the day. But we had a jumping castle, petting zoo, sausage sizzle, and I guess we didn't know what to expect, especially given 2020 was cancelled. So we had some good numbers come down, a lot of interest, especially with our young kids. They wanted they want to register. I think there's a bit of hesitancy at the moment, but I think for the most part, they enjoyed themselves, and we had Western United down as well, so that was good. The kids enjoyed that. It was a good few hours, and I think especially with the parents, they were loving catching up with each other, especially some of them who haven't caught up with each other for the last 12 months.
We had a little bit of footage there as we were speaking of Sunday's, Saturday's big day. Numbers-wise, we've talked about COVID affecting clubs in different ways, and one of those things is the unknown factor at the moment, because people are sort of still pinching themselves and saying, "Nah, it's too good to be true that we're going to have a football season this year." Look. Let's hope we are going to have a full and complete football season this year. How are numbers, and firstly, how are numbers at the club compared to maybe the pre-COVID era? And secondly, how did the COVID pandemic affect the club?
So for us at the moment, we're like, for example, mini roos are probably about 40% down on numbers from 2019, or from our projections even for the start of 2020 before all this hit. And we are down a handful of junior teams as well, which is to be expected. I think there was a point where we thought we may not have a lot of junior teams, because, like I said, parents are hesitant in registering their kids. But we've now got one under 12 boys, one under 13s, one under 15s, which is good, one under 13 girls and one under 15 girls. We do have one women's side, which is good, and we do have 2 Sunday men's teams registered as well, and that was a pleasant surprise for us, because we weren't sure what was happening there either.
Mariella, have you spoken to other club presidents? Are other clubs in the same boat, or is this something that's quite unique to your club that you're aware of?
No, I haven't had a chance to I guess do the rounds of other club presidents yet, but I know from in speaking with other sports and whatnot, that all numbers are down across the board. So it'll be interesting to see as we head towards the season whether parents go, "Oh, look, there's a season, let's try and register." But I think for a lot of clubs who are trying to plan, that's not ideal.
No.
Because there won't be coaches around. There may not be the volunteers around, because we've kind of planned for those that have registered now. And so that's, the fine line we're treading. We're treading at the moment. I'm assuming it's kind of the same for other clubs as well.
So having said that, do you expect that there could well be a big influx of kids and parents wanting to get their kids when they can see that, actually we are going to have a season?
Yeah, I think so. I know I've heard a few parents say, "Oh, no, we're going to wait." And we're trying to say, don't wait, because we're actually planning for coaches now. And if you come later, we're not going to have a coach for you. We're not going to have a position for you. Unless you come with a whole team and somebody willing to coach you, it's kind of a little bit late. And I know that sounds rough, and we'll try and work with people as much as we can, but at the same time, there's people who have shown faith, not just for our club, for other clubs as well within the region and across Victoria, said, we'll put our money there and we'll play.
Yeah, no, I think you're quite right, Mariella. You've got to put your foot down and tell people how it is in this situation. You're doing your best to organise a very difficult set of circumstances. So now, speaking of numbers, how's things on the committee? Are you looking to pick up a few more people on the general committee at the moment? Yeah,
so we've not just Steve stepping back. We've had another resignation as well. So we're looking for another person at least to step up. I mean, the group that we've got, they're all go-getters. And it's rare I know I've sat on many committees over the years, and it's rare to get a full complement of go-getters and who want to, get stuff done and will take on those small and large jobs. So we're kind of blessed, but I'm also mindful of not wanting to burn people out by the time we hit June. So we've just got to be careful with that.
Now, give us a little bit of an insight into the running of a committee, particularly now in this, let's call it the post-COVID era, or the current, because there are obviously all sorts of government regulations in addition to everything else that is involved in running a club. And let's face it, vast majority of clubs, 99.95%, are run by volunteers who give up their very cherished spare time. So give us a bit of an insight what it's like running a club nowadays.
Now that COVID's happened, there's a whole other, like you said, there's a whole other level of things that we need to be mindful of, and we just, I guess, for the way we're treating it at Surf Coast is let's not try and do the extra stuff that we normally would have done pre-COVID. Whether it's special kind of academy training, special. I know at one stage I was talking about futsal. Let's not do that. Let's just do our core tasks. So put teams on the park, get coaches for them, make sure they have a really good season, because 2020 was bad. Nobody kicked a ball and everybody was miserable. So let's just give these guys an experience that they'll love. And so we're keeping it simple for us anyway. But with that does come its challenges, because you have parents who possibly now can't afford to play football. So I know for our club, we've opted to go, okay, well, if you're in financial difficulty, tell us and we'll work something out for you. Because, for us, I don't know how the clubs are working, but we've always paid up, when you register, you pay your full amount. So, we've opted to go, well, we don't want anybody to stop playing, but if you want to play, we'll help you out as best as we can. And, we'll just make sure that we've got some good coaches. We're trying to get them accredited, trained up, so then our players have, some knowledgeable people that are coaching them. So we're just trying to keep things as simple as we can, even for ourselves, because, like I said, we don't want to burn out as a group. We don't want to get to the end of the season and just hate what we've done, because it's just been a hard slog. I guess that's probably the simple answer to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, on a positive note, a lot of positive things happening down the Surf Coast, and right adjacent to Banyule Warrior Reserve, the Surf Coast Shire has just opened up a fantastic new indoor facility that's going to be a real futsal mecca in years to come, no doubt. Obviously, other sports will be using it as well. But there's also plans afoot there at Banyule Warrior Reserve to expand the club rooms, is there, or grandstand? Tell us how that's progressing.
So at the moment, we're at a stage where plans are being signed off. So design of the club rooms. So that's where that's at, and that's part of the an election commitment that was made a few years ago to the Shire to build those club rooms specifically for us. Because whilst people see that we have this enormous pavilion, it's actually not ours. So we don't have our pennants, our trophies hanging up in there. We're not allowed to. This extra room will allow us to do that and to make it our true home. That's very exciting for us.
Can't wait to see that eventually come to fruition. That would be fantastic. Steve, before we move on, Mark Wyeth, the coach of the senior women's team, he's in the green room now, eagerly awaiting us. So Surf Coast fans, don't go away. We'll be talking to Mark very, very shortly. But in the meantime, Steve, any more questions for Mariella?
I guess just one last one from me, Mariella. How are the coaching stocks going at the moment? And what's Mika's involvement down there these days? I remember he was doing a sterling job with the Sunday teams back when I was having a kick around down there, nearly 10 years ago now, probably. Time flown by.
So whether we're both crazy or not, we're both sitting on the committee. He's doing all our registrations.
Yep.
And so he's doing a great job there. He's planning to put on the boots as well again this year. So, yeah, he's quite involved.
Fantastic.
Well, hopefully you've got time that you can all take a nice family holiday at some point.
That'd
recharge at some point mid-season or something even.
Yeah, that's the dream. Even getting to Queensland at this stage is who knows.
Good luck. Yeah.
Fantastic, Mariella. That is great to hear. Hopefully this little conversation, if you like, does provide a lot of inspiration to other club administrators, and in particular the super family that is the Pocklingtons. Mariella and Mika both on the committee. And you've got, how many little ones have you got at the moment?
I've only got the one, and she's starting our Kickstart program.
Brilliant! Look at that.
So she's
week of involvement there at the football club.
Yeah. Before I go, I do want to mention our sponsors because they have stuck with us even during 2020, which we are so appreciative of. The first one being Torquay Stock Feeds, who is our longest running sponsor for the club. Also Nutlex, who they were happy to continue sponsoring us. Surfside Dental, and we've got a brand new one in Four Pines Brewery in Torquay, and we appreciate them sponsoring the club as well. And all
That's
our
a very
other
tasty sponsorship deal, that one, Mariella.
It is. We're really excited about that one.
And the other two as well, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. Nutlex, very, very good. Spreadable there for the breakfast. Yeah, Mariella, once again, thank you very much for joining us. All the very, very best in season 2021 to yourself and to the rest of the crew there, and to all the teams at Surf Coast. We look forward to coming down and to Banyulwarri Reserve. Always a very hospitable place to visit. I certainly love coming down there, making a day of it.
Thank you for having me on.
Good on you. That was Mariella Pocklington, the president of the Surf Coast Football Club. Steve, now one thing about the senior team, they kick off this weekend. Young Milton Bailey, he's back at the club, so looking forward to that. That should be absolutely fantastic. But also there's look. I would really love to see that club do well, simply because they've come so close. And even 2 years ago, I think it was on the last game of the season, during the first half, they already had 1 foot in State 3. So it was, we'll love to see them do well. Now, mate, straight after this, we've got our next guest. We'll bring him on straight away because we are running a little bit behind time. But he's would you like to introduce him?
Absolutely, mate. So next up, it is our second guest of the night. It's Surf Coast FC's women coach, Mr. Mark Wyeth. G'day, Mark. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. How you doing?
G'day, Steve. G'day, Tonchi. Good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Good, Mark.
Very good. Thanks for your time this evening. How's things shaping up with the women's side of things down at Banyulwarri Reserve at the moment?
Yeah, no, look, really good. I actually mentioned the other day when the season was starting, and I've got a bit of a hoot from the girls, so really looking forward to the season starting in a few weeks.
Yeah, so
very good response,
Mark. What are the plans as far as Mariella mentioned earlier that there's likelihood of having one senior women's team? Where do you look? Where are you hoping to play in which division of the local competition?
Yeah, so we've got around 20 players this season, so a few less than last year.
Yep.
Last year we're actually looking at having 2, so but that's okay. We've got about 20. Looking at Div 2 this year. We've got quite a number of younger players in the squad and a few new ones as well. So probably it'd be really interesting. Yeah, really looking forward to getting out there and playing and seeing how they match up against the other two Div 2 teams to see where we stand.
Has there been any talk about what the structure of the competitions will look like? Obviously, North Geelong are moving to State 5 or State 4, wherever they're going to move. So that one of those teams, the powerhouse teams in Div 1, won't be there. So I assume it will be Deakin and Rangers. And then the other teams will always kind of, I could make up the numbers or depending on how they've recruited. But are they expecting to have 4, 6, 8 teams in Div 1?
Yeah, look, I haven't heard, and it was certainly something we considered about whether we looked at Div 1 or Div 2. It's really hard to tell with North Geelong going up, obviously being really successful, and where I'd be interested where, I'm assuming they'll have a second team, where that second team sits as well. So, yeah, not sure. And I know that they talked about in the past about having 3 divisions, so maybe not this season, but I think, it will be interesting in future seasons whether that comes about again. Trying to get that balance. There's always a challenge getting that balance right between, because at the end of the day, we all want to have really competitive games. So you want to have a nice balanced competition. So, but it depends on numbers, which may have been mucked around a bit with last season.
Yeah, a little bit of the unknown factor creeping into everything that we can certainly see. Steve.
Yeah.
So, Mark, just a little bit about yourself now, I suppose. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey through football that's led you to this position of being the head women's coach down at Banyule Warrior Reserve?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So played juniors, didn't play seniors, but played a bit of juniors back in New Zealand as a kid. Then came over here, and my kids got involved. I've got 2 boys and a girl, and the boys are involved. So I actually started out with Liam and Brian coaching down at Rangers. So I started that there. And then when the boys shifted back to Surf Coast, started coaching there, helping out with Colin with the under-12s back in the day, and helped him right through, I think we were coached right through the under-15s together. So who was a great mentor to have. And then coached an under-13s team, under-13 boys team through to grand final, missed out, unfortunately. And then when my daughter stepped up and started playing, it was an opportunity to start coaching her right from under-12s right through to under-14s, and then when she moved into the seniors. So it's really been about bringing, as my kids have worked through the club and through the age groups, I've sort of worked my way through. So again, there was that opportunity to help out last year with Mariella, who's been just a fantastic stalwart for women's soccer and club. So the opportunity I was expecting this year to just rock around again, and Mars would be in charge, and I'll just pick up the cone.
Now, Mariella was the coach and a previous player we did mention, and now she's stepping up to be the president. So do you feel that there's a little bit of extra pressure now on you to do well with the women's team this year, or you're going to take it all in your stride?
Oh, no, certainly there's a bit of pressure there.
Big shoes to fill.
I think that you see me before last, they were played in top 4 and played in finals and things. So, yes, definitely a little bit of pressure. But no, look, she's so supportive of me stepping into the role, and just got a fantastic group of women and girls down there who are just, I really love going along coaching every week. They're great. There's no dramas. They're just really keen. I think we started pre-season on the 5th of January because the girls are just really keen to get down and
fantastic.
So it's been a really good pre-season, and I'm really looking forward to the season starting.
Very good. Now we've got Steve Christa, who's just slid into the comments there. He says a couple of great club people on tonight. Please don't talk Mika up too much because we won't hear the end of it. So. Wise words from the outgoing president there. What was it like working at the club under Steve Christa under his time as president there?
Oh, look, Steve's just a legend down at the club. He's one of those guys who's always down there, always doing something. I remember one day I was down there and he's busy patching up a hole in the wall. Next day he's busy sort of getting cable ties around the goals, just that kind of leading the club, but also just doing everything he can to help out as well. And I'm sure I was down there on Saturday with him watching a practice game. So definitely 100% down there, always supportive, and just a great guy to have around the club, and always happy to say good day and talk about what's going on.
Yeah, speaking of saying good day, a big good day to Steve. He's been a massive supporter of the club, and it's great to see that his recovery is going well, and he's still involved with the club. That is fantastic. But he's doing a little bit of toing and froing with Michael Pocklington, and Michael
Mika's returned fire here.
He's returned fire, and he says it has already gone viral. Well, we certainly cannot say that it hasn't, because it has indeed. We're listened to and watched all around the world, Steve. So those comments have gone around. But Mark, back to you, mate. Back to you. It's something that personally, having coached both boys and females, it's something I love to hear these type of answers or different, I guess, angles from coaches. How do you approach coaching females as opposed to coaching the boys? Do you approach it in the same way, or do you have to approach it in a slightly different way, and how?
Yeah, thanks, Tonchi.
Tough one.
That's not a loaded question. Don't worry.
Look, I think that technically, I think what you're coaching doesn't change. I don't think so. I don't approach it any differently. The sessions I plan for and everything else are exactly the same, whether male or female. I don't think you should change it. I think you have to be a little bit aware of women's health. I think, and as a male coach especially, we're probably not as aware of what's going on, that kind of stuff. So you have to educate yourself up on that as well. And then I think you've just got to understand that it doesn't matter, and you can have, and it's different teams, boys teams as well. You're coaching an A team versus a B team. They'll have different motivations. So it's the same going to like a girls team or a boys team or a senior women's team. They're all going to. You have to kind of read the team and understand, what they want to get out of the season and out of playing, and it's all going to be different. So I think that's why I kind of look and go, I'm going to coach because my motivation is to try and improve the players and the teams all the time. But then I'll adapt that to go, hey, what do these players want to get out of it? Like, what are the girls looking for this year? So I think that's kind of really important, and it doesn't matter what team you're playing, coaching. You always have to be sort of in tune with what they're thinking. And if they want to have a cruisy year where they're just really enjoying it, it's all about social, then really encourage that and not be that full-on coach who's yelling and screaming and trying demanding stuff and having full-on meltdowns because they're not doing something. But in contrast, if you've got a really passionate, keen bunch of boys who are just full on and got so much energy and just want to go nuts, then again, you can take a different approach to them and just drive. So I kind of look at it and go, you've just got to be adaptable and adapt how you coach to the team and to the players. Even with that, you're going to have quiet players and noisy players. And again, you've got to do the same thing there. There's no use yelling at this quiet little kid who's just going to break down in tears, boy or girl.
Yeah, but very good point.
He just needs a bit of a rack up and say, hey, mate, stop mucking around. Get out there and actually show us what you can do, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's all about being aware and making, but at the end of the day, making sure they're all having fun and getting out of it what they want to get out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that is a great insight and a great answer, I must say, Mark. A fantastic insight into a coaching methodology that is so all-encompassing and very adaptive. A great answer. Mate, we wish you all the very best for the year ahead. Is there anything you'd like to say either to your team or to any of the sponsors that are sponsoring the team or to the Geelong football community in general?
Yeah, look, obviously, thanks to all the sponsors. Like that, as Mariella mentioned, without you last year, it would have been really, really tough. But they stuck with us, so just fantastic. Thanks, obviously, to Mariella and the rest of the committee. Like all committees, the rest of us couldn't do it without those committees. And finally, to the rest of the Geelong soccer community, really looking forward to the season ahead. I know our girls are just absolutely pumped. So really looking forward to getting out there and catching on the pitch and on the side of the pitch during the year.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Thank you for being a part of our first episode back for 2021. Really appreciate it and wishing you and the senior women's team down at Surf Coast all the very best for season 2021.
Great. Thanks, Tonchi. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Mark.
Good on you. That was Mark Wyeth, the senior women's coach out at Surf Coast FC. Geez, that last answer. I know it was a curly one, but geez, he did really well. He answered that absolutely fantastically. I think they're a very, very lucky bunch of girls down at Surf Coast to have a coach such as Mark Wyeth at the helm.
Yeah, big time. I can see Mark doing very well with the girls this season and the playing group really enjoying their 2021. Not just to be back playing football, but also to be playing under such a well-measured and considered coach as well, I would say. Yeah. Oh, well, that, mate, brings us to the end of our show. It has been an absolute delight, Steve. We've really had a good discussion, a good gaze into the crystal ball. But
the time for talking is finished, or time for action, at least for the senior men's and the senior women's as well, with the Nike FC Cup happening this weekend. But I'm really looking forward to the season. And before you know it, it'll be Easter time. And straight after Easter, we know what that means, the start of the junior season as well as the local community league. So a lot to look forward to over the next 4 to 5 weeks, mate.
Yeah, I can't wait, mate. It's been a long time coming, and now we're going to see the action on the field. So very excited, and I can't wait to get out and see how some of these teams go, and a lot of local derbies that we saw in State 4 and State 5 West. So it's going to be fantastic stuff. So if there was ever a time to be excited about football in Geelong, we've never had a circumstance like this where we've had no football for a year. Now it's back.
Months.
Exactly. Now it's back. It's just fantastic, and I can't wait. And I'm sure I speak for a lot of the Geelong football community that would say the exact same thing.
Absolutely. Now, next week, we've got the focus on Galaxy United. But before then, Steve, you'll be joining Craig Filer and myself this Friday night at 6 p.m. on the Football Out West show to also undertake a comprehensive preview of the NPL and the NPL 2 and NPL 3, as well as the State League men's competition. So I look forward to having you on board again on Friday, mate.
Oh, I can't wait, mate. Just get to see your face twice a week now. It's very good, even if it's only online.
Absolutely. Okay. On that note, thank you very much for once again being a part of tonight's show. It was episode 53 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We are now back every Monday night from 7 p.m. Big shout out to our sponsors for tonight, Anytime Fitness, Rob Panetta. Really appreciate your support. Become a member of the show, www.patreon.com/Geelong Region Soccer Show. We really need your support because we are the only media in the local Geelong area that will be covering the local football community this year. Until next week, good night, and hope your team does well this weekend.
It all starts with heart. Put it into everything you do and extraordinary things happen. 500,000 people are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. That's 500,000 hearts beating as one. Join them. From cardio to strength, free weights to functional, all Anytime Fitness clubs contain the most up-to-date equipment that suits all fitness levels and any workout goal. With your Anytime Fitness membership, you have access to our clubs all over the world. Give your fitness fix 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever you are. Anywhere, anytime. Here's a special offer. Mention this radio show and receive 50% off your joining fee and the rest of the month for free. So what are you waiting for? For more information or to join the Anytime movement, pop into the Geelong City, Highton, Leopold or Drysdale gyms or text the letters FNR and your name to 0477 225 518 and our membership consultant will get back to you. Anytime Fitness, looking after your health and fitness, anytime, anywhere.